Ancient origins, the cradle of civilization. The land that is now Pakistan has a history stretching back millennia. It was home to one of the world's earliest civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization. This civilization flourished around 2500 BC. It boasted impressive urban centers like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. These cities showcased advanced urban planning, sophisticated drainage systems, and a written script yet to be deciphered. The Indus people engaged in trade with Mesopotamia and other ancient civilizations. Their legacy laid the foundation for the cultural tapestry of the region. The decline of the Indus Valley Civilization around 1900 BC ushered in a new era. Waves of migrations and invasions swept across the region. The Aryans, arriving from Central Asia, brought their language, Vedic beliefs, and a social order that influenced the Indian subcontinent for centuries. The Persians, under Cyrus the Great, conquered the Indus Valley in the 6th century BC, integrating it into their vast empire. Alexander the Great's brief conquest in the 4th century BC left a blend of Greek and Persian influences. The arrival of Islam in the 8th century AD marked a turning point, introducing a new faith and culture. The long march of empires from Aryans to Mughals. The Mughal Empire, founded by Babur in the 16th century, left an indelible mark on the Indian subcontinent, including the region that is now Pakistan. The Mughals, known for their opulent courts and patronage of the arts, ushered in an era of relative peace and prosperity. Akbar the Great, one of the most renowned Mughal emperors, extended the empire's reach, implemented a policy of religious tolerance, and fostered a synthesis of Persian and Indian cultures. Under Mughal rule, Lahore flourished as a centre of art, culture and learning. The Shalimar Gardens, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stand as a testament to the Mughals' aesthetic sensibilities and love for nature. The empire's administrative system influenced the region's political structures for centuries. However, the Mughal Empire's decline in the 18th century created a power vacuum that paved the way for new contenders. Among these contenders were the British, who arrived in the Indian subcontinent as traders with the East India Company. The British Raj, seeds of division, seeds of unity. The British Raj, established in 1858 after the Sepoy Mutiny, brought significant changes to the Indian subcontinent. The British introduced Western education, technology and administrative systems, impacting the region's social, economic and political landscape. The construction of railways and communication networks facilitated trade and connected distant parts of the subcontinent. However, British rule was also marked by economic exploitation and the suppression of local industries. The rise of nationalism saw Indians, including those in Muslim-majority areas, demanding greater autonomy and self-rule. The Indian National Congress, founded in 1885, emerged as a prominent voice for independence. Concerns about Muslim representation led to the formation of the All India Muslim League in 1906. The Muslim League, under Muhammad Ali Jinnah, began demanding a separate Muslim state, Pakistan, arguing that Muslims constituted a distinct nation. Birth of a nation partition and its aftermath. The partition of British India in 1947 marked the birth of two independent nations, India and Pakistan. The joy of independence was overshadowed by the horrors of partition. The largest mass migration in human history ensued, with millions of Muslims fleeing to Pakistan and Hindus and Sikhs moving in the opposite direction. The hastily drawn borders and communal violence resulted in an estimated 1 million deaths and widespread displacement. Pakistan, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, faced monumental challenges. The newly formed nation grappled with an influx of refugees, economic instability, and the need to establish a functioning government. The dispute over Kashmir further strained relations with India, leading to the First Kashmir War in 1947-48. Despite these challenges, Pakistan adopted its first constitution in 1956. The early years were marked by political instability and the assassination of its first Prime Minister, Liaquat Ali Khan, in 1951. The democratic experiment triumphs and travails. The 1970s witnessed a brief but significant period of democratic rule in Pakistan. The 1970 general election resulted in a landslide victory for the Awami League, advocating for greater autonomy. The refusal of the ruling elite in West Pakistan to transfer power led to a brutal civil war. The 1971 war led to the secession of East Pakistan, which became Bangladesh. This traumatic event forced Pakistan to confront the consequences of political and ethnic divisions. The aftermath saw Zulfikar Ali Bhutto assume leadership, implementing socialist economic policies and nationalizing industries. Bhutto introduced a new constitution in 1973, declaring Pakistan an Islamic republic. His rule was marked by both progress and authoritarian tendencies, facing opposition from religious parties and allegations of corruption. The shadow of the sword, military interventions. Pakistan's history has been punctuated by periods of military rule, impacting the country's political development and social fabric. General Zia-ul-Haq's coup in 1977 overthrew Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, ushering in a decade-long military dictatorship. Zia's regime aligned Pakistan closely with the United States and Saudi Arabia in supporting the Afghan Mujahideen. Zia's Islamization policies aimed to strengthen Pakistan's national identity as an Islamic state, but also marginalized religious minorities. The Afghan War led to the proliferation of weapons and the rise of militant groups within Pakistan. The legacy of military interventions is complex, with arguments for stability and economic progress versus the erosion of democratic institutions. The challenge for Pakistan is to establish a sustainable democratic system that guarantees political stability and civilian control over the military. A nation divided, the loss of East Pakistan. The secession of East Pakistan in 1971, resulting in the creation of Bangladesh, stands as a defining moment in Pakistan's history. East Pakistan, despite sharing a common religion with West Pakistan, had a distinct Bengali language and cultural identity. The refusal of the West Pakistani establishment to transfer power after the 1970 election ignited long-simmering grievances. The brutal military crackdown on Bengali civilians led to a mass exodus of refugees into India. The 1971 war, with India intervening on behalf of Bangladesh, resulted in Pakistan's defeat. The loss of East Pakistan forced a reassessment of Pakistan's national identity and the need for a more inclusive political system. From Bhutto to Zia, charisma, coup, and controversies. The post-1971 period in Pakistan's history was marked by a mix of democratic aspirations and military interventions. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's rise to power ushered in an era of populist politics and socialist-inspired economic policies. Bhutto's charisma resonated with the masses, and he implemented significant reforms, including land redistribution and nationalization of industries. However, Bhutto's rule was also marked by accusations of authoritarianism and corruption. His decision to hold elections in 1977 led to widespread protests and unrest. This turmoil provided an opportunity for General Zia-ul-Haq to stage a coup deposing Bhutto and imposing martial law. Zia's rule was a period of significant transformation, incorporating Islamic principles into the legal and social fabric of the country. His decision to align Pakistan with the United States in the fight against Soviet occupation in Afghanistan had long-term consequences. Entering the nuclear age, a new geopolitical reality. Pakistan's decision to develop nuclear weapons was driven by security calculations and regional rivalries. The 1971 war with India reinforced the perception of an existential threat. India's nuclear test in 1974 prompted Pakistan to embark on a clandestine nuclear program. Pakistan's nuclear program faced significant international pressure and sanctions. However, Pakistan remained determined to acquire a nuclear deterrent, viewing it as essential for its security. Pakistan's decision to conduct nuclear tests in 1998 marked its formal entry into the nuclear club, altering the regional security balance. Pakistan in the 21st century, challenges and opportunities. Pakistan entered the 21st century facing challenges ranging from political instability to terrorism and climate change. The 9/11 attacks and the subsequent war on terror had a profound impact on Pakistan. Pakistan's support for the US-led war on terror brought financial aid, but also a backlash from militant groups. The early 21st century witnessed a period of democratic transition in Pakistan. However, democracy in Pakistan has remained fragile, with challenges from entrenched interests and political polarization. The assassination of Benazir Bhutto in 2007 was a major setback for democracy. Despite these challenges, Pakistan has made some progress in recent years, experiencing modest economic growth. Pakistan's young and vibrant population represents a significant demographic dividend, with the potential to drive innovation and economic growth.